Dímelo, dímelo, Corillo. Estamos aquí de nuevo en Sazón Deportivo, como siempre, poniéndole un poquito de sabor a tus deportes y con tu receta deportiva favorita. Este servidor Luis Meléndez con mi compañero, el fiel Gabriel Gabo Sayas. Dímelo, Gabo.
Dímelo, Luis. Regresamos aquí a nuestro estudio de Sazón Deportivo. Y antes de que mi compañero aquí presente nuestro gran invitado, como siempre, tenemos que darle un shout out a la casa de Sazón Deportivo, que no tan solo la casa nuestra, la casa de más de 20 podcasts. Y aquí se crea contenido de alta calidad. Todo lo que necesita está aquí. Acabe de contactar a Webnéticos. Ahora sí, caballero, cuéntame qué tenemos hoy.
Papi, antes de ir al invitado, hay que hablar rapidito.
Claro.
De papi, la grasita que tengo puesta, papi. Ey, hibiscus. Papi, esta gente tiene la verdadera grasa. Síguenlo en las redes sociales. Fearless to Bloom es su mantra. Eso quiere decir, papi, que no le tengas miedo a retollar. No tengas miedo, ¿verdad?, a tomar ese paso. Tal vez sea una relación. Tal vez sea crear un podcast como nosotros. Tal vez sea cualquier otra cosa en tu vida. No tengas el miedo de dar ese paso porque, mira, el que le tiene miedo a retollar, a florecer, se va a quedar en el mismo
Mira,
sitio.
y la paginita de ellos está gufiada. Mira,
No, la paginita,
mira
papi.
aquí.
Espérate. Déjame darle aquí. Se me perdió la computadora, Gabo. ¿Qué pasó?
Se supone que está en la parte de abajo.
Ey.
Ahí está, mira, está la paginita de ellos. Ahí tiene, Luis está usando esa misma, la Spooky Surfer Collection.
Yes.
Oye, y las redes de ellos también están aquí, mira, rapidito. Dios, no, Sasso no los va a seguir. Míralo aquí.
Papi.
Aquí está la página de ellos. Oye, dale.
Ey, ¿y quiénes aparecen ahí primero?
Yo no sé, ese tipo me parece familiar.
Uy, papi, seguro que sí, mira. Una colección súper chévere. Están trabajando en nuevas colecciones, así que corillo, jalen para allá, cachen esta grasa que estamos utilizando. Y ahora sí, vamos con nuestro invitado del día de hoy. Nuestro invitado del día de hoy, papi, novato este año en el BSNF. No solamente, ha sido un año grande. Novato en el BSN, dije BSNF, ¿verdad?
Sí, diste BSNF.
Estamos tan acostumbrados a cubrir el BSNF que me fui. Pero no, novato en el BSN. Aparte de eso, representó a Puerto Rico este mismo año. O sea,
correcto,
muchas cosas grandes pasando para él. Nada más y nada menos que Oenis Medina. Dímelo, Oenis, que es la que. ¡Woo! ¡Aplaude, Gabo! Vamos, para que la gente crea que tenemos público.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I'm happy to be here as usual. You know, let's have a good conversation and have some fun, man.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Obviously, Oenis, like we talked about the big year you've had this year, you know, representing Puerto Rico and playing for the Mets. But it all started someplace, you know, like it all started, everything has a starting point.
Yes, sir.
When Big O fell in love with, you know, sports, when was that first step that you took towards your career?
So, I mean, I grew up playing like baseball, football as a little kid. I actually hated basketball. Like I
really?
I hated basketball with everything inside of me when I was a kid.
Oh my god!
I wasn't good at it. I wasn't coordinated, and this just wasn't for me. So, but my first love actually was probably baseball. I played little league like anyone else would, and but I stopped after middle school because I got bored with it.
That's typical Latino household.
Yeah, but where were you living at the time?
I was born and raised in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So yeah, I played baseball. I was pretty good as a kid. I was pretty good in middle school, but I got bored with it. Honestly, that's kind of why I stopped playing.
Yeah.
And,
Just out of curiosity, what was your position? Where do you played?
So I played third base in middle school, but
Okay.
that was tough because I don't think I was fast enough to be playing third base.
A hot corner.
Yeah.
I thought you would probably be a catcher.
Nah. So I played catcher. I hated it.
Yeah.
I played shortstop in little league. I mean, everyone plays every position.
Exactly.
In little league, but middle school is where I played mostly third base, and I was decent. I was an okay fielder.
How tall were you, you know, when you were in middle school already?
I was always bigger than everyone else, but I don't think I was that tall. I probably was
a little bit more than average.
Yeah, like maybe like seventh, eighth grade, probably like 6 foot. I don't know if that's
that's not that tall. Yeah, so you could have still played a couple of positions. Yeah, like, you know, about when you're 6'8", like you're right now, like either you're a pitcher or you're
First
probably
base.
gonna be first
base,
or like if you're Aaron Judge, you know, you're gonna be playing the outfield. But yeah, like that's why I asked you, because like, you know, playing third base, I was like, but isn't he like too big to play third base?
And you say you also played football.
So that was the sport that really stuck with me. Like I love to this day I love football more than anything, and you know, that's kind of what I stuck to most of my childhood. And then I took a long break from sports. I didn't play sports again until 11th grade when I picked up football again, and I was once again I never like lost the love for football. It was just, you know, that's just how it worked out. But yeah, football was always my number one sport.
Okay,
it's the sport that I love the most. And
you were part of the offense or the defensive unit?
Offense, yeah.
Okay, let me take a guess to see if I can figure out what position you played. I'm gonna take one. You take one guess. I think you're a tight end.
Nope.
Shit.
You said you weren't that coordinated.
Well, basketball terms I wasn't coordinated, but
yeah,
football is a little different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I already took my guess. I failed.
Like he wasn't like you weren't that big. You were 6 foot, but still 6 foot in middle school.
Exactly.
You're
That's
a big
pretty
kid.
big. That's
You're a
pretty
big
big.
kid.
Remember, I said I didn't play again until 11th grade after Little League. So,
but still, when you were in, how big you were?
Guess the position, man. We'll get to the height. We'll get to the height. Just guess
You were
the
like
position.
you were in the offensive line.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
What position though?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Were you the center?
No,
No. Shit.
left tackle.
Oh,
Left tackle. Yeah.
okay.
I was about 6'5", 6'6" by my junior year.
yeah. You were big. You were a big kid.
Probably like 275 pounds. So.
Oh, definitely offensive line. Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
I would have loved to
definitely.
have played tight end, but no.
Like if he would have played tight end, you would have been like a Gronk type of guy, you know.
I would like to think so.
Yeah,
I would like to think so.
Definitely. Like,
That'd be awesome.
Gronk's like what, 6'7"?
6'6", probably.
6'6".
Yeah,
probably.
6'7", you know,
yeah.
like very big, you know, like muscular. Yeah, you probably would have been like a Gronk type.
Yeah,
of
I like to eat too much unhealthy food to look like Gronk though. So that's why.
Yeah, like I think we all of the ones that are sitting in this
Yep,
this
that's-
table like to eat too many unhealthy foods. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, like we weren't gonna make it.
Nope.
Okay. Well, you played, you know, you came back to sports in the 11th grade.
Yeah.
You know, like what, obviously you spent how much, like 3-4 years, you know, without playing any kind of sports?
Yeah. Yeah. 3 or 4
Yeah,
years because I played
like,
baseball until 8th grade.
How was it, you know, like getting back to the groove, you know, like obviously you were going to play football, a
Yeah.
sport you love. How was that transition, like from not playing so many, you know, like for so many years to coming back?
So my brother played in high school, and he's kind of the one that got me into it. I always wanted to play, but I'm not gonna lie, I was just lazy. I was really at that time in my life, I was really lazy, man. And but no, when I came back, obviously taking such a long break, it takes you a lot to get back to where you were, and
Especially the conditioning and all that.
And so for me, my 11th grade year playing football again, like you could tell that I had like the raw potential and that I had it, but it just needed a lot of fine tuning, and I needed to get the technique back, and I needed to put the muscle back on, and yeah. So I want to say it was easy in terms of like the motivation to do it, but the actual doing it was the tough part. Like the actual getting back into it and just finding, you know, the technique again and putting the strength back on. That's the hard part.
Exactly, and to find like a sense of let's do this routine.
Yeah.
Let's get back to condition. That we're gonna take this seriously. We're gonna make adjustments in this and all that. That's pretty tough. But who was that person that helped you the most at that time to start to get disciplined, if we can say that?
I would say my football coach, Rob Flowers, at the time. The way he ran the program was kind of like a Division I college program, to be honest. So, I mean, during the summer we had summer camp, obviously, like anyone else, but it was so regimented, and the way he was, like as a motivator, like you couldn't help but, you know, try to run through a brick wall for this man. And
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
He pushed you so hard, and you know he was hard on us, but you could tell there was so much love behind what he was doing. So it's like it made it so much easier for you to stay motivated. Once again, with me, what my struggle was the diet. Whenever I went home, man, you come home to rice and beans and pork chops and stuff like that, man.
That's what I wanted to ask you. What was your typical diet? Was it a Puerto Rican
Puerto
diet?
Rican household diet.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Puerto Rican household diet, bro.
Yeah, my
Damn,
sister,
that's good.
Listen, I say this all the time. Me and my other brother, we're the only ones that were raised in the United States from my siblings.
Okay.
And, you know, my sister and my brother, they were born and raised in Calle. So, yeah, I got the full boricua experience.
They had that
Yeah.
boricua sauce.
Exactly. So you come home, you know, arroz, habichuela, chuleta, cosas así.
Oh.
Hablo, no puedes decir nada.
No, you cannot. You cannot. We don't blame you.
No, we don't blame you
Yeah,
at all.
not at
I
all.
still can't say no to
And
that.
my sister's a good cook, man. So that makes it even harder. And then me,
Yeah.
I love sweets. So you come home, you eat that, and then you look in the cabinets. You got Twinkies, oatmeal cream pies. You know,
No, that's impossible to
Yeah.
say no to.
Nah.
Yeah. Like, I'm full. I'm like Oenis, you know, like, I have a sweet tooth. And, like, if I see Twinkies and all that.
I have
man,
a bad sweet tooth, man.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah. That's hard to say no to. But, okay, you came back, you know, you started playing again. Basketball. When did basketball creep in?
So I kind of was like not seriously forced into it, but I was working out one day. This is 11th grade as well, and Coach Flowers comes up to me and he introduces Rick Perez, who's my high school basketball coach, and they're like brothers. They grew up together, so
Okay.
you know, obviously in my high school there wasn't a whole lot of tall kids. Like, I mean, there's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could count them with one hand.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, and I went to like a powerhouse high school when it came to basketball in the state of Pennsylvania. So, you know, at that time I was 6'6", probably closer to 6'7", and my football coach comes up to me, and I respect this man so much. So anything he said, I kind of just went with it. He goes, "This is Rick Perez. You'll be playing basketball for the next 2 years." And I looked at him just like, okay, yeah, sure,
Whatever you say.
yeah. And that 11th grade year, I was so bad at basketball, man. It was rough. I was like 275, 280. I couldn't run fast. I couldn't jump. I had no skill whatsoever. And
How would you describe the level of play at that time? Because that might be a tough spot to
Yeah.
start playing basketball.
so, like I said, I went to a powerhouse school, Reading High School, and in Pennsylvania too. You know, you have Philadelphia, which is a powerhouse city in the country
Yeah,
for basketball.
exactly.
A lot of good basketball players come out of there. So, I played varsity that summer. Like we went to all the summer leagues and stuff like that. So I would play with the varsity team, and I did well, but it was rough for sure. You know, I'm getting just, you know, bodied out there. Dudes are just jumping so much higher than me, faster than me, and I ended up playing JV that year, and my coach on JV, Matt Flowers, who's Rob Flowers' brother. So they all grew up
Really?
together. So it was like a
Wow.
yeah, and oh man, he put me through hell. That's my guy. I love him to death now. But then when I was in
But
11th
back-
grade, I hated it. And I was on JV. I didn't play no minutes as an 11th grader.
Wow.
Mind you, JV's for 9th, even 8th graders, 8th, 9th, sometimes 10th graders. But I didn't play any minutes that year.
You were in 11th grade at that time.
not getting any minutes. And
Wow.
it made me hate basketball that much more. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. No way.
Yeah.
You might have thought this is a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought.
And being the tallest kid probably in the team, like, not getting minutes, being the oldest too, it'd be like, no, like, that's definitely hard.
Yeah.
And on your confidence, obviously.
Yeah, my confidence. There was no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I already didn't have confidence coming
Yeah, because
into it.
you really didn't, you know, that
Yeah.
wasn't your sport.
Yeah, at all. And but no, I mean, you know, I still loved the team I was on. The guys were always great, but in terms of basketball and playing at that time, I hated it. I didn't want to do it. But I respected my coaches so much that I can't quit on these guys.
Yeah.
So
And like on the gridiron, like, how were you doing? You know,
I was my junior year, once again, because I didn't, you know, I was so rusty. I didn't have the technique or anything. I didn't play much either. Everything came together my senior year. My senior year is when everything came together. Football, my senior year was great. I loved it. Like, I was doing really well. I earned a starting spot, and the improvement from my junior year to my senior year in football and basketball was just, it was
leaps and bounds.
crazy. Yeah. And but football, I love football, man. Like that, there's nothing compares to this day to Friday Night Lights. Like the atmosphere on a Friday night in high school, the band's playing, and you know all your friends are in the stands. It's insane. You know, I love football.
And at the end of your senior year, like, did you get offers, for football or
Yeah.
only basketball?
For both sports, yeah. I was blessed enough to receive a lot of Division two offers for football, which I didn't expect that at all, and I had a couple D1 offers as well, but I don't know. I guess at that point, my heart was kind of with basketball. Once I started seeing, the offers,
improvements,
and offers and stuff like that. So I ended up playing basketball, but I did have the opportunity
To play both.
It's funny. I ended up playing football in college as well. I had a stretch where I was playing football in college. I gave it another shot, and too many concussions, and
Yeah.
you gotta make a decision
that's
at that point.
what I read. You know, that you quit because of the injuries. You know, and definitely like CTE and all that.
Scary stuff, man.
It's some scary stuff. So nobody can blame you about it. And do you think that you made the right decision looking back at it?
For sure. It hurt to make that decision because I love football so much.
That's why I asked you, because I know that you've told us that that's what you love.
Yeah, and I thought that, because the conference that we played in was one of the best Division II conferences in the country.
Okay.
Like, dudes go to the NFL from that conference every year, and I had to sit out my first year because of transfer rules, and the next year was COVID, so that sucked. But I really believe that if I would have had the opportunity to play and showcase my ability on the field, that I could have had an opportunity to
Go pro.
Yeah. So, but you live and you learn. You gotta move on from that. You can't be stuck.
Yeah,
in
you
the
can
past.
dwell in the
So,
past. Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing pretty good for myself, I guess, with basketball.
Oh, sure thing. But would you explore a coaching opportunity in the far future for football?
No, not for football. No, I don't think I have the IQ
Okay.
to be a football coach, man. That stuff is too complicated for me.
It's very strategic.
Listen, I struggled learning the plays as a player.
Yeah,
as a player.
And
You might explaining it to like 20-some kids.
Exactly.
And no, not just that, but when you're a coach, you have to make the plays.
Exactly. You got to make your own playbook.
Because you do have your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, but they go by you.
Exactly.
So you have to make all that
tough.
shit
That's
up.
tough.
Nah,
That's
it's
tough.
I wouldn't wish on anybody being a football coach.
Reality is, listen, not all players are good coaches.
Exactly.
And I think I fall into that category when it comes to football for sure.
Yeah, and you can see it, and I think every single league, star players are usually bad coaches.
Exactly.
Because when you're really good at something, it's like, just do it.
Exactly.
And things aren't like that,
I have a theory, well, there are some great players that have become good coaches or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're a great player, I don't think you're held to the same standard as some of the players that have to work for what they.
That's true.
So I feel like when you see, and I've seen coaches that were not great players be amazing
Great coaches, yeah.
And I think it's because they're so motivated to get better at whatever sport they're doing that they pay so much more attention
to the details,
to learning the game at a deeper level.
Yes.
Whereas if you're just naturally gifted, a lot of people, they make a career off of being naturally gifted.
That's what I say, because it's like when something comes easy to you, you tell your player, just do this.
It's
but
not that easy.
Because he is not as naturally gifted as you were. Exactly.
You can't jump 40 inches in the air.
Exactly.
You don't got a 40-inch vert.
Exactly. It's not like, we aren't were born with, huge, freakishly big arms, not arms, but, hands, to catch footballs in the air or, to freaking palm a basketball.
That's true.
Some people have to really work for that, and they're like, I did it if nothing happened.
Exactly.
When I was 13 years old, I was dunking, and you're like, what?
I didn't get my first dunk till I was 18, and it was a rim grazer.
Yeah.
And I still struggle to dunk sometimes.
Yeah, bro. I only dunked a couple of times in my life, and it was in high school, and it was with an alley-oop, and it was with one hand. And it was literally, they stand underneath the basket, okay? And I was like,
Toss
okay.
it up.
Yeah, toss it up, and I was running and I was like, I felt like I was Michael Jordan, and I would probably look like, what the hell is this guy doing? So we don't have that. Not everybody has that.
Exactly.
But okay, now you're in college. You got into college. You started playing basketball. You started with the Golden Bears, right?
No, my first school was Shippensburg University, Red Raiders.
Yes, exactly. 2016, 17, Shippensburg University Raiders.
Yeah, that's probably a terrible picture you're looking at too. I look terrible.
Damn, I want to
I
find
saw
it.
a picture, but I have my notes.
Okay,
But I saw the
alright,
picture. I saw a picture. Yeah. Yeah, you were like he didn't have he had that like the peach fuzz, you know.
Barely. I don't even know if you could call it peach fuzz.
Yeah, the peach fuzz. Do you find it? Do you find it? Go.
Yeah, I found
Oh,
it.
you nah, don't do me like that. Go ahead, do it. Forget it.
I found it. I found it.
Wait. You played one season on Oenis in Shippensburg. You know, playing 3 minutes per game. Like obviously, like you weren't, you know, you weren't a basketball player your whole life, so it's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
How hard was it to get adjusted to the college level?
You know, it's funny. I think I was more prepared for the college level than I was for the high school level, just because I worked out so much. I worked at it so much going from my junior to senior year, then my senior year to my freshman year. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of development in terms of, you know, like just natural instincts. I feel like I didn't have at all. And also, it didn't help that the dude in front of me at the time, Dustin Sleva, he ended up being probably one of the best basketball players in Shippensburg history. 6'8", could do everything. Yeah. And he's actually playing in France right now, in the top league in France, I'm pretty sure. Or he was either in France or in Germany, one of the two. And so that didn't help. Exactly. So I kind of came in knowing that I was going to not play much, but I was just more worried about learning and just trying to, you know, get
get your feet wet.
Get better every day type of thing. And I loved Shippensburg, man. That was a great school. It was a lot of fun there. We were blessed enough to win a conference championship that year.
Okay. I
never came close to winning a conference championship in my career after that. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be there. And you know, the Coach Fight, he was a great coach. Kind of wish I would have stayed there, honestly, but once again,
I guess I was gonna tell you, like, then you only lasted 1 year there, then you were to Kutztown Golden Bears.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where you finished your college career too.
What was the decision behind transferring?
Honestly, it was selfish. I was trying to play, and
get more playing time.
Yeah, coming out of high school, it was Kutztown, Shippensburg that were my two main schools, and I took my visit to Kutztown first. I liked it a lot. The campus was beautiful. It was close to home. It was only like 25 minutes from home. And then that next weekend, I took my visit to Shippensburg and fell in love with it. Like I loved it. And it was 2 hours away from home, but that was what it was.
Exactly.
I have a car. It's not that bad. I think for me, I just wasn't mature enough to understand the work that actually has to go into becoming a great basketball player.
Yeah. Okay.
And the patience behind being a great basketball player. Like I didn't understand how raw I was as a player.
Okay.
And you know, I let the coach at Kutztown kind of talk me into going there, and it didn't work out at Kutztown at all. Kutztown was as much as I loved the school and the people and the friends I made there, the basketball aspect of it was not good at all.
Yeah. It was not what you
not what I expected.
were hoping. Yeah.
I truly believe if I would have stayed at Shippensburg, I would have had a much better college career than I did.
And you would have developed probably as a better basketball player.
Way better basketball player. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, I'm not trying to knock my coaches at Kutztown, but the reality is, you know, look at my career, how it went. I went from Shippensburg, a great school with a great coaching staff, to Kutztown, where it was not what I expected. I'm just going to say that for lack of a better term. You don't got nothing nice to say, just don't say it. And but I'm grateful for the memories I made at both schools regardless.
After 1 year in Kutztown, you fell off the map.
Yeah.
You quit college. You started working in a factory. I don't know, like, I don't want to sound offensive, but you ballooned to 330.
Nothing offensive about it. That's the reality. There's no hiding that.
And like, you know, you obviously you grew in weight, and you know, like, what was the decision behind you just leaving college? Like, what was your mindset at the time? I know that, you know, we're probably gonna talk a little bit, you know, later about some difficult family matters, but you know, what was your at the time? What were you thinking about? You know, just leaving college.
It was just a lot going on at the time. Like concussions was a big factor. because
Football.
play
yeah,
Yes,
football. So it was just a weird time for me. It was a tough time for me, and I just needed a break from it all. I needed a break, and I went home. Obviously, you got to start working and doing that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, my whole mindset was just kind of taking a break from everything and trying to figure stuff out. But there was so much going on that, like,
It was overwhelming.
yeah, it was really overwhelming, and I couldn't focus on one thing. And
Yeah.
that kind of just began a journey of ups and downs for me. But it's part of life. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
And afterwards, you came back, 2021, 2022
Yes.
season, and you finished your college career.
yeah.
Like, how was that? How was the reception? Because you came back to Kutztown.
Yeah.
What was the reception there? What was your mindset when you came back? Obviously, you were away for a certain time. You cleared your mind. What was all of it?
Like I said, I just got tired of working, every day and looking at myself in the mirror and thinking to myself, damn, like, bro, you could be in college playing basketball and
Exactly.
and having fun and getting your degree and all that stuff. Instead, you're working at a dead end job with people that are 30, 40 years older than you, and they don't really have, not that they don't have a future, but they don't
have much to say
Yeah,
about
they-
that.
yeah.
They made their career there, so
they have their kids, they have their wives or husbands, and this is what they are. And for me, I just couldn't do it. Like, I'm 20. What would I be at? I was 23 at the time.
Probably, yeah.
Like, nah, I can't do this, man. This is crazy. And that to lose the weight was the hardest thing. But my main goal was just getting my degree. And I that's the one thing. Me and my coach at Kutztown, we did not get along at all. I'll just be honest with you. But the one thing I'm always grateful to him for was that he gave me a second chance, and giving me that second chance, I was able to get my degree and play basketball again. So I'm grateful to him for that, for sure. But yeah, my mindset was I just needed to make a change. I needed to get my life
Get
back on
things
track.
straight.
Yeah, get things straight. And I went back to school and I played again, and I was able to lose the weight, kind of. I dropped down to like 265, which is still a little too heavy, but it's better than 330.
Yep. Exactly.
And I had to sit out half of the season. Yeah. So I only played in like 15 games, but
Yeah, like I have it here in my notes.
I worked so hard at it, and when I came back, I was starting right away, and injuries. I got my first game back, waited so long, and I went up for an offensive rebound. Dude took out my legs, and I hurt my lower back, and
damn.
that's been that was what kind of messed me up, and I was able to keep playing after that, just not at the level I wanted to, and I was so like gung-ho on like, oh, I need to play, that excuse me, I didn't allow myself to recover
properly.
properly.
Okay.
And
Yeah, probably had to do with, being in a factory. You probably worked 8-10 hours, standing up, that really takes a toll on your back, being at 330 pounds. It didn't, it's not easy either, it takes a toll in your back, your knees, your ankles, your every joint.
Yeah, that limits all your mobility.
Exactly. So yeah, probably like you push your body, to get back down to weight, and obviously after that you want to go 120%, being back in basketball, and yeah, like it's probably a little bit too much for the body. We're human, so yeah, it happens. But after that, you finish your college career, you have your degree. When does pro comes to mind? When does Oenis think, okay, I can go pro?
Honestly, Kyrie Mars, my best friend, he's the one that really talked me into it. It's not that I didn't think I could go pro. It was just more I didn't have that. Once again, I didn't have that confidence. I just came off of a terrible senior season,
exactly.
and like I didn't think a pro team would look at me, especially at the level of the BSN.
Yeah.
I didn't think a pro team would look at me and be like, yeah, this is who we want. Like, this is someone that we could work with. Like, if you look at my college film, it's not much to look at. Trust me, it's probably like 3 minutes long. And he just talked me into it. He kept talking to me. He was like, bro, you could do this. Trust me. And I probably would have came earlier, but like I said, I didn't have that confidence. And I was like, you know what, man, I got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
So I just I talked to his agent, who ended up becoming my agent, Alberto Maldonado, and he liked my film, which I was surprised about. And he so I'm Mexican. I'm 50-50, Puerto Rican and Mexican, and the original plan was to go to Chihuahua and,
Go to Mexico.
yeah, and play, and they have like a tournament there. And then we go to the BSN just to get my feet back under me. But I was like, nah, man, I don't really want to go to Mexico for my first.
Is that your first pro experience?
Yeah, I didn't want to go to Mexico. And well, I knew about the LMBP in Mexico, but I didn't want to go do that tournament in Mexico. And I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna just take a shot at myself. I'm gonna just
Go for the BSN?
go for the BSN, and we'll go from there. Whatever happens, it's not the end of the world.
Sorry.
Put my name in the draft, and the rest is history, you know? So
how was that experience when you realized, damn, I think I made it?
It was a emotional one. One, because I didn't know that I got drafted until like an hour after I got drafted. Yeah.
How did you find out?
So the day of the draft comes, and what was it? The first 2 rounds are televised. So I'm watching. Yeah. I'm not thinking I'm going in the second round, but I'm just, I knew I wasn't going in the first round. That wasn't happening. But I'm just,
yeah, like the first 2 rounds are televised. Yeah. Then after that, everybody's in the dark until it ends. Yep. When it ends, that's when the BSN, posts the list.
And that's the thing. You would think they would post it as it's happening at least, but no. And then I went in the 4th round, which was, and so the 3rd round goes by. So I thought it was only 3 rounds though. I didn't know there was a 4th and 5th round.
Yeah.
And
so you're thinking like, okay, nothing happened. I'm not drafted.
Yeah, I was like,
Plan B.
I called Kyrie right away. I was like, damn, bro, what am I going to do now? Like, I just put my all into this for the last 5 months, and nothing came out. It didn't work. Yeah. I was really discouraged. And then I texted my agent. I'm like, so what's next? And he calls me right away. Mind you, this is like an hour and a half after the draft. And he calls me. He goes, yo, oh. I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, yeah, man, you got drafted in the 4th round. I forgot to call you. I'm like,
damn, I've been sweating bullets over here for an hour and a half.
Like, bro, I think I'm gonna fire you. Hey, what do you mean you forgot to call me?
So that was
that had to be like a bittersweet call.
Yeah,
like
it was bittersweet for sure. I just got done telling all of my loved ones I didn't get drafted. Now
and suddenly I have to call them again.
Sad. Now I gotta call them all happy.
Like, yeah. I got drafted.
I did get drafted. I'm moving to Puerto Rico.
And but no, it was a good. It ended up being a great experience just to see my name in the BS on the
BSN page, yeah.
And being in Guaynabo with Kyrie, who's my best friend.
Exactly.
So that
was like a perfect fit.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean that's how that experience went, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had that brotherhood, but after you're drafted, you come to Guaynabo, the season doesn't start off, as any of you expected.
Very rocky start.
It was really rocky start. After Omar takes control of the team, you guys start to get your footing, and Gotti's playing great, Mitch, suddenly the big news in the BSN this year, DeMarcus Cousins. Yeah. He's coming to Guaynabo. What was like your mindset during that first stretch of the season where you weren't, playing that great, the team wasn't playing that great? What do you think was the key when Omar took over? And obviously, how was it, when DeMarcus came over?
So, I mean, my mindset for whether we would have been losing or winning was to just get better as a rookie. I knew I wasn't going to play. Like, I kind of knew the politics of the BSN already. So,
the first years for rookies are tough.
Yeah, unless you're like a big name or something. Exactly. Like that. And so I just came in with the mindset, just learn, get better, and we'll go from there. You can look forward to next season. But we went through 2 coaches the first 2 months, maybe less. Yeah, Silas and Milt. And when Omar took over, I think at that point we were kind of just like fed up with losing. There's too much talent in the room to be losing these games, and I don't even think we were getting blown out. Like, it was a lot of close games. It was a lot of close games, and
it was like 1-12 the first 13 games, something.
Yeah, something like that. Nothing worth remembering. So
great answer.
But I think we just got tired of losing. Then that Santurce game, we had Timothy Suarez and dominated. And Jermaine Miranda hit that shot, and I think that just gave us the momentum we
We
needed.
were in that game.
We were in that game.
It's like, I mean, you knew we had the talent with Gary Brown, Mitch, Jason Page, you know, Ed Davis, who our first import at the time, Anzi, all those guys. Like, you knew you had the talent, but you just needed to figure out how to click, because it's a lot of egos in one room, you know. And but we you know, it clicked, and when DeMarcus came, that just, for me, I've said it in every interview that I've ever done, that dude's my idol. Like, I watched him at Kentucky as a kid, and he's the reason I started playing basketball outside of like organized sports. Like, I started watching basketball because of him and Derrick Rose as well. But just seeing like how he was not a super duper athletic guy, but the dude just, you know, kills people with his skill and his footwork. Big man. Yeah, it was really, you know, so for me, you know, you get to play with your idol. It was a great experience. He was really good to me. Nothing negative to say about him. Good dude. I got to learn a lot from him, and it was an absolute blessing to meet him and to be able to play with him and to be able to learn from him as much as I did. It really was a blessing.
What was the biggest change you saw in that locker room when Omar stepped in as the coach and then Boogie came along? What did you think was the biggest shift of mindset or biggest change in that mindset of the locker room?
I'm not sure if it was Omar coming that necessarily changed the mindset. Like I said, I think we were just tired of losing. Okay. Know? And I mean, obviously Omar, he understands the BSN. He understands how to win. Exactly. So I think there were some changes that he made in our offense and our defensive schemes that helped, that were more fitted towards the BSN style of play.
Okay. And maybe also to your type of offense, the roster.
And, you know, a lot of our guys, American guys, you know, so they come with that American style of play. But, yeah, I mean, just I think him implementing those certain things, certain little details into our offense and our defense, it changed a lot. But like I said, I think we were just fed up of losing as players, you know, all this talent. And then when Boogie came, it's like, you got to win now. Like,
exactly.
This dude,
definitely.
The franchise just said we're all in, so we got to win now.
You just brought in DeMarcus Cousins. The dude should still be in the NBA, playing at a very high level. Yep. And you know, for him to come and for him to take that chance and come to Puerto Rico, where I'm sure he never heard of the BSN before now, exactly. And to come in so humble and just, you know, ready to work, and you know, it was like, it's perfect, honestly. Yeah.
And you know, the season didn't end like you guys wanted. Obviously, you would have wanted to end, you know, with a championship, but you got to the semifinals. And you lost to the eventual champions. You know, how was that playoff run, you know, for you guys? Like, obviously, at the end, heartbreaking, you know, Boogie gets injured in Game 6. I still think that if he didn't get injured in Game 6, he probably would have been in the finals. But, you know, how was that playoff run?
For me, being a bench player that, you know, didn't really play much, it was a great experience just seeing the atmosphere and everything. And,
and in your rookie year.
Yeah, and making a run like that in your rookie year. We were just clicking on all cylinders at that point. You know, we were a very, very hard team to beat, man. Very hard team to beat. And to see that ascension from 1-9 to finishing, we ended up finishing, what, second in our...
Second
behind Bayamon, I think it was.
Yes.
And, you know, we swept out Arecibo. We go into Carolina. We're splitting every game. You know, they win in Carolina. We lose. I mean, we win in Guaynabo. So that was like a real heavyweight bout, man. And to watch that and to be in that atmosphere, Carolina's a crazy place to play. Crazy place.
Tough place to play.
Yeah, I love when they start playing Sácala, no le tenga miedo.
Yes.
Yeah, they start going crazy, man. That's the best, man.
And the explosion before every game. And everybody's like holding their ears.
You gotta give them props. It's a very tough place to play. That it's a great atmosphere to play in, and yeah, that was a great series though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a great series.
Game 7.
It was probably the best series of the whole playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, literally.
You know, I was the only one that said that Arecibo was gonna get swept.
Were you really?
I remember, and I'm a fan of Arecibo.
I gave Arecibo one victory. I was like, I don't think they might get swept. I think they got to win one at home for pride.
I was the only one who said that we were getting swept, and I'm not a Arecibo fan.
But we had you guys winning it all. We had you winning it all. So
did I had them?
I don't remember if you had them. I had them winning it all. I had them against Bayamon at the finals and beating them.
I think I did. I think I have you and San Germán in the finals. So you and Bayamon. I don't remember. But yeah, like so long ago. But yeah, like it was a great experience for your first season.
How would you summarize it? Your first season?
For me,
if you had to give it like a grade, that experience, how would you grade it?
A 10 out of 10 for sure. And you put my numbers up.
Yeah,
that's a nice picture.
I hate that picture.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
Take it away. You guys never saw that shit.
Mando's even in the picture.
Shout out to Mando.
Shout out to Mando.
Nah, it was a great.
Mando probably had better pictures of Oenis. We should have hit him up. We should have hit him up.
I'll fix it at post. So.
No, it was a great
care of our guy.
I give it at least a picture of me playing.
That's true.
No, it was if I had to grade it, it was A+ for sure. You know.
Yeah, like you said, like you had the opportunity to learn from, an NBA All-Star.
And not even just Boogie, at Davis too. At Davis is a great player.
Mitch, Mitch, as a player that's been in the NBA, he's a star in the NBL. You had Gotti as one of your point guards, you were playing with your best friend. So yeah, you had a lot of positives.
Yeah, for sure. It was
you can't see the laptop there, right?
Yeah, no, I can't see it right now.
Damn, I have you dunking now.
I do.
Shit, man. We'll fix it in post. But the season ends. A couple of trade rumors start to roam around.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you end up with Bayamon.
Yes,
you end up with the Vaqueros. In a trade involving Benito Santiago. He's going to Guaynabo. You're going to Bayamon.
Coach Nelson.
Pearson is heading to Guaynabo too.
And Ozzie Branch to Bayamon.
Ozzie Branch to Bayamon. Exactly. Like you're now gonna play with Nelson Colon, the coach for the national team, in Bayamon. What are your expectations for this year?
Same thing as last year. Just come in and learn as much as I can. I mean, at the end of the day, I haven't proven myself yet in this league at all. Exactly. I'm very far from an established player. I'm very far from, a player deserving of recognition in the sense of, this is one of the best players in the league. Very far from that. But so my whole mentality is just coming in and coming to work, man. Exactly. Like I don't, this is the most focused I've ever been on my career in general, and it's a blessing to be here, and it's a blessing to have an opportunity to play for an organization like Bayamon. And I'm just excited.
16-time champions.
Yeah, I'm excited to come in and work seriously, man. Like I love the fact that I'm playing in Bayamon. I love Guaynabo. Don't get me wrong. I love playing in Guaynabo, and I'm grateful for them giving me that opportunity to have my first professional season. But for me, I really want to start taking these next steps in my career to just get better as a basketball player, and continue to grow, continue to learn, and take advantage of the opportunities that are given to me. Because, like I said, not proving myself at all. So I'm coming in there with the mentality I got to prove myself that I'm worthy of playing minutes, let alone worthy of the trust of a coach who's had a lot of great players and who's had a lot of success.
I gotta make this quick question. We've said, everybody who's a content creator, we've said that this last BSN season was the best one out of them all. How would you describe the environment in all the different home courts that you visited as a player? How would you summarize the overall experience of a BSN game?
It's great. Like, listen, Puerto Rican fans take basketball serious. And it doesn't matter if you're playing in Humacao, in Manatí. Like, the fans that are there, you're going to hear them. You're going to hear them. And then you get to places like San Germán, Carolina, Bayamon, Santurce, Guaynabo. It's nuts, man. Like these people take basketball serious, and it's beautiful to see. It's very, very beautiful to see as a player, to see people take so much pride in these teams of people that, we're not NBA players. There are NBA players in it, but I'm talking about like from the native standpoint. Yeah. It's just amazing to see, and it's amazing to experience as a player to, kind of be like an inspiration to some people, and
True.
you know, make people's day when you just give them a high five. It's
The little kids
exactly.
look up
yeah,
to
it's
you.
beautiful.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful
Yeah.
experience, man. I love it.
Yeah, well, Oenis, let's talk about something that we've talked about, you know, your basketball journey and
Yeah.
all that, you know. We're gonna touch a serious subject, you know, and it's mental health. You know, you've been a mental health advocate, you know, and you know, like as an athlete, the past couple of years, I think there's been a lot of athletes that have become mental health advocates because people might see you as an athlete and they don't, you know, like they blur the line that makes you a person.
Yeah,
You know, they're like,
for
no,
sure.
he's only an athlete. Like they forget that you're a person. You know, that after the game you go to your house, you have a family. You know, you have friends. You have all the problems we have. You know, probably or even more. So you had a tough upbringing. You know, your mom and dad, you know, died when you were really young. Like the story, Emma from Easy Endurance.
Yeah.
You know, he interviewed you, and I read it, and it brought me to tears. You were a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, you were coming out from the movie theater with your brother, waiting for your mom. Your mom was never late. She was late. You had to start walking, you know, 2 miles to your house. And your sister, right? Your sister, your brother?
My sister, she
Your
took us
sister
in.
got the call.
Yeah.
She got the call that, your mom and dad had a discussion. They were separating, and he took her life and he took his own life. Obviously, that's not an easy thing for a 9-year-old kid. Nevertheless, having to live with that, through that, and nevertheless to your sister,
Yeah.
that she had to take you guys in and become your mom.
Yeah.
How was obviously that, losing your parents at the same time in such a horrific way, and how did that made Oenis the Oenis we see today?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, that day obviously is a day that I will never ever forget. I can remember every little detail about that day. You're a kid enjoying your summer, and
Exactly.
you come out of the movie theater, and my favorite thing to do is to go to the movies. And you come out from doing your favorite thing. We watched the Simpson movie, so I'll never forget. And you're just sitting there waiting for your mom, man, and you're not thinking nothing crazy.
Bad, exactly.
My mom was very responsible. My mother was never late, like I said. She was loving, and even my dad was very loving to us. My dad never showed any signs of struggle. And I think for me, being a mama's boy, especially, to get that call, we didn't find out till the next day, me and my brother. But there was like certain things that happened throughout that night that you just start to lose faith and hope in the best
outcome.
the best outcome. And but for me, man, at that time, I just didn't want to lose faith. I was like, there's no way that something
Bad happened.
bad happened. And I tried so hard to hold on to that faith, man. I did. But like I said, certain things happened throughout the night that you just know. You could see the writing on the wall. And the next morning, like, my sister couldn't even tell us what happened. She didn't tell us. My cousin did. No, she just brought us into the room. We sat on their laps, and I'll never forget. She looked at me, looked at my brother, and just said, "Your mother's an angel." And that just brings chills to me now. And still hadn't told us about our dad though. And I'll never forget. I'm bawling my eyes out, crying. Obviously, me and my brother are crying. And then I looked at my cousin. I said, "Why didn't my dad help her?" And she looks at me, looks at my brother, and says, "He's an angel too." She didn't tell us what happened though.
Exactly.
She just said that they got sick. Because I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how you could look a kid in his eye and tell him.
And tell them, yeah, definitely.
And
Like, they did the best they could with what they had.
yeah, but that happened, and unfortunately, it was a closed casket funeral because my the way my dad killed my mom was very horrific. And I think that hurt a lot. Is like
You didn't have the opportunity to
Yeah.
see her for one last time.
and I sit here as a 25-year-old, and the thing that hurts me the most is I like outside of the few pictures that I have of her, I don't have a memory of her face.
Exactly.
I don't have a memory of her voice no more. It's weird. It's weird. Like I can't sit there and have a memory about my mom and think, oh, this is what she sounded like. I promise you, like I don't remember anymore. Same with my dad. Like it's hard to I don't know, kind of like process it sometimes that damn, my sister's 28. I mean, she's 46 now, but she was 28.
28. Yeah.
My other brother, who's 43, was 20, whatever he would have been at the time, 25, 26, something like that. So they have memories. Even my brother, closest in age, who was 12 when it happened,
Yeah.
they have memories that they can remember. They have memories of her voice, of things that she used to do. I was 9.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember what happened, but I'm not old enough to remember ages 1 through 9.
Exactly.
And it's tough, man, because you kind of feel like a certain disconnect from my parents. And I do remember I was a big mama's boy. I loved my mom to death, man. Like I was up her ass all the time, and my dad too, man. I really like my dad was my he was Superman to me. And it's tough, man. That's it. It's hard. It's very hard to this day, 16 years later, to
associate it.
Yeah. Like I carry around this picture of my mom all the time, and sometimes I look at it and I'll just get super emotional and start crying, and I'm just like, damn, 16 years, and there's just some absences in your life that mark you forever.
Over,
yeah. And it's tough for sure.
And
very tough.
Obviously, like now as a 25-year-old man, what can you say that obviously every situation, it doesn't matter how horrible it is, you take something from it. What can you say that Oenis took from that situation that made you the man that you are today?
I don't know, honestly. Because that's not the word. I've always said this. Like, I don't feel comfortable talking about a lot of stuff that I've been through, but that, to me, losing my parents isn't the worst thing that I've been through in my life. As crazy as it is. And for me to I don't know what turned me into who I am today, because I think I'm still figuring out who I am in a lot of ways. And
and obviously, like, there's just so many things that keep on happening to us, through the course of life, that change us every single day. And like you say, like, you're not the best version of Oenis right now, because probably from here to 5 years, you're gonna have 5 years of experiences that are gonna make you into a different Oenis.
Yeah.
And definitely it's it's something that like every single year that passes by, we get different experiences that make us who we are.
And it's crazy because I had to grow up so fast as a kid, man.
You couldn't have a normal childhood. You had to mature
and
at a record pace.
And for me, my sister, when she took us in, she's 28 years old. She don't got her life figured out.
Exactly.
She got 3 boys of her own. I can't say that we grew up the best either, because reality is my sister, she didn't go to college, nothing like that. So
yeah, she had a normal job.
Don't get it
9 to 5.
Get it twisted. My sister is my queen. I love her. I love her more than anything on this earth. She did what she did the best that she could, and obviously she didn't do too bad, because we're all good.
Great, yeah.
But there's certain things as a kid, growing up poor in a poor city, and seeing some of the things that I lost my mom to domestic violence. I seen my sister deal with domestic violence in some of her relationships as well. And then on top of that, I grew up in a city where it was a lot of drugs and violence. And my brothers, who I love to death, and they've changed their lives, they weren't necessarily the best
role models.
Okay. They had their issues as well.
Yeah.
So it was, you look around, you're just like, damn, what am I supposed to look up to? What am I supposed to look at and think, damn, that's what I want to be. I don't want to, no offense to my brothers again, I love them to death, and I didn't look at my brothers and think to myself, yeah, that's what I want to do when I'm that age. So I kind of feel like I've been figuring myself out the last 16 years, man. It's a lot of ups and downs. You know, I did a lot of things by myself, man. You know, so I think that played a huge role into, I guess, why I struggled so much. Is you do everything yourself.
Exactly.
And build yourself up and try to build a life that you want. And you know you don't want to be going in and out of jail. You know you don't want to be, you know, doing drugs. You know you don't want to be selling drugs, gangbang, and all that stuff. But it's tough, man. When all those influences are there, man. It's
Everything's so
tough.
accessible to you.
Exactly.
And like you said, growing up in a tough neighborhood, you know, poor neighborhood, you saw that, you know, every single day, and you had to try to look away and you know, find an outlet out.
I'll never forget my childhood home. And for me, like ages 1 through 9, like I had a great childhood. Like my mom and dad, they had really good jobs. You know, we grew up in a nice neighborhood. After they passed, my sister took the house for a little bit, for maybe 2 more years. And I can remember at one point, there was a 4-bedroom house. At one point, we had 14 people living in that house.
Wow.
It was me, my
brothers,
so both of them. Then she had her 3 boys. So what? That's one's. I'm bad at math. I'm sorry. So me, my 2 brothers, her 3 boys.
6, 7 with her.
Yeah, 7 with her. Her boyfriend, 8, who was abusive. Our cousin's family. So it was my 3 cousins, 10, 11, 12, and then their mom and dad. They were staying. Yeah, they were staying in a
4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was rough, man. Like it was rough. It was, you know, it's funny too though, because as a kid you don't think about that stuff either. Exactly. You're just having fun with your cousins and stuff like that. But
yeah, right. Exactly. Now as a 25-year-old, you look back at it, it's like, damn, that was tough.
That was tough, man. It was. But that's life, man. My story isn't special from anyone else's. There's so many people
that have gone through
worse than I've gone through. So, but you know, it's my story at the end of the day.
Exactly. But right now you're saying to everybody who's listening to this, you can be vulnerable, and life is gonna give you a lot of bad situations, but you can make the most of it, and you can be successful. Because right now we're interviewing a pro basketball player.
Exactly.
Maybe a couple years back, you would have never dreamt that would be a reality, but
man,
it is right now.
I didn't think I was gonna make it through high school.
Exactly.
You know?
And we can't blame you, because your whole world was ripped apart from you.
Yeah. And definitely, like Gabriel said, you know, like right now, you know, you're Oenis Medina, you know, you're playing the BSN, you're a professional basketball player, and everything that you went through made the man you are today, you know? Like your environment, you know, made you to the man you are today, not wanting to be a part of that environment, you know, and be another statistic to all the other kids. You know, you want to be an example, you want to set an example, and you're doing it right now. You know, like everybody that, you know, hears this podcast and hears your story should, you know, learn that, okay, like I don't want to be just another gangbang.
Exactly. Your environment doesn't define you.
Your environment doesn't define you.
It's your decisions.
Exactly.
So, you know, like definitely we're gonna leave it up here, because, you know, we took a little bit more time than we should. But we have to bring you back on this, because we would like to keep talking to you, you know. But you know, like there's another person coming into the film, so yeah. But yeah, like Oenis, your social media, so everybody can find you.
My Instagram, which is really all I use, is O_Medina33.
Gabo, un bala tuyo.
_GZ9, Instagram y Twitter, ahí estamos a la orden.
Y Corillo, busca Sazón Deportivo en todas las plataformas digitales. Estamos en Facebook, Twitter, Instagram y YouTube. Sazón Deportivo con acento en la voz de Sazón en Facebook. Sazón_Deportivo en Instagram. Deportivo Sazón en X. Y Sazón Deportivo en YouTube, Corillo. Y como siempre, tenemos tu receta deportiva favorita. Y mira, le ponemos un poquito de sabor a tus deportes, Corillo. Vamos a despedirnos aquí. Fuímonos.
Thank you guys for having me.